everything that there is to see there. Skyscrapers, cars, shops, you name it. I guarantee you that they won't recognize a thing. The world will seem completely foreign to them. I mean, granted, it's been like 500 years, but not much has changed for him the past 500 or even 1,000 years. They'll be completely frozen and overwhelmed by the flooding masses of people and buildings that seem to touch the sky, while they ask themselves, when did this happen? How? Well, the period between the 16th and 18th century is what we call the scientific revolution. It's a time where people's perspective of the world fundamentally changed to take a more objective view. Great philosophers like the Italian astronomer Galileo. Okay, so we need to go over to my Google Slides. The animations don't work.
Just do it on the laptop. Do you want me to do it?
I have to walk over here every time. It's not even working, oh my god.
Breathe. Okay, should we open your side?
Yes, please.
Is this you?
I have no idea.
I just want to pause it.
Oh, it's the next one.
Okay, because I don't want to open my email. But look, this is what the slide. Okay, so we'll start here. But,
So this was the man in New York.
okay, and then this.
Yeah, yes. Wait, can I play this? Actually, I can. Oh, yes.
Okay, I'm
No.
going to stop touching it. Are you good?
Yes, please stop touching it. All right. Great philosophers and mathematicians like the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, the creator of the pendulum clock, Christian Newtons, and even Isaac Newton himself came from this era. Isaac Newton actually served as the culmination of all the great advancements made there. Some of you may not know that. Know that things like oh my god. Is it frozen? Oh, there you go. Some of you may not know that things like the stargazing telescope or the stargazing telescope by Hans Lippershey or the thermometer who's okay, please. Just don't touch it, okay? Please. Some of you may not realize that things like the stargazing telescope by Hans Lippershey or the thermometer, whose actual creator is shared across the epoch, were created during this time period. The microscope by Zacharias Johnson could at the time magnify up to 30 times. That's enough to see a small grain of rice. Nowadays, we can do it up to 50 million times. That's enough to see atoms. Okay, some of you may be saying, that's like all very cool stuff from like what, 400 years ago? But what does that concern me? Well, think of it from this perspective. The attire you are wearing right now is probably made out of cloth and linen, two materials which only started to be mass-produced during the Industrial Revolution. Before that, people had to wear clothes made out of wool textiles, which were scratchy and uncomfortable to wear. And they were also messy and got heavy when mixed with water. Modern medicine didn't really exist until 220 years ago, with the invention by Friedrich Saturna of morphine. Very effective, but very addictive too, painkiller that is So useful, in fact, that it's still to this day being used in hospitals. There is... Does anybody know when anesthesia was invented? Anesthesia was invented just 40 years later by William T.J. Morton, and it completely eliminated the messiness of surgery, where people had to be strapped down to the operating table whilst they screamed in agony from the pain and easily died of blood loss and infections. Does anybody know the name of the first drug to ever effectively deal with bacterial infections?
Penicillin.
Yes. Penicillin is also the first drug to be ever mass-produced by industrialism, and it has helped, to this day, save over 500 million lives. It took the creator Alexander Fleming, though, 20 years to perfect a drug that's considered such a basic necessity nowadays. But what I find most amazing is that all of these creations, all of these discoveries that I have named so far, they were all in the past 500 years. It's absolutely fascinating to me how, that slide was not supposed to come. All of this happened within the past 500 years. The modern era serves as the culmination of all these great advancements. We are fortunate to be living in a time of constant change that is ever evolving, where we can effectively communicate with people across the globe in just a matter of milliseconds. Before that, our ancestors had to travel the seas just to get to that place, whilst treading dangerous obstacles like the sea itself, natural disasters, and pirates. We have the privilege to complain that our global communication is kind of faulty at the moment, or that we have so many career and entertainment opportunities because of these discoveries, that we have nothing to do too. Modern humans didn't really exist until 190,000 BC. And just to give you a perspective, an idea of how recent these discoveries are and creations, it wasn't until 186,000 years later that the wheel was invented. It took another 300 years for literature to be a thing. 300 years. That's like the time gap between the American Revolution and ChatGPT. So what I find absolutely amazing is how we are in a time that we are not only getting smarter, but our technology is advancing exponentially. In the past 50 years, according to Zippia, our technology computer speed has been doubling every 1.5 to 2 years. And sure, like all exponential growth, that may not hold for long. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be proud and grateful of what we as a society achieve. So the next time you look down at your cell phone, whether it is to check your email or your work schedule, think about how amazing it is that we were able to achieve such amazingly beautiful technology in such a short span of time. So, will I have to teach my kids what a goddamn keyboard is? Or will they have to teach me how to use a hologram? Thank you for your attention.